It's Pleb Talk! What's up, you goddamn plebeians? Neo with the Balding Plebs here, joined here by my brother,
Jdog.
Resident Evil 2 Remake One Shot Demo, breakdown and discussion, and our thoughts going into the Resident Evil 2 Remake release coming up Friday, January 25th. Jdog, let's talk about it.
We're about less than a week away from the release of this game, and
6 days as of the recording of this.
I'm excited.
Hell yeah, me too.
I think this is. I told you I thought this was my favorite Resident Evil of all time.
The original.
The original Resident Evil 2 is my favorite Resident Evil of all time, and I really, really enjoyed that game. I thought it was an improvement over the original in every way. A larger cast of characters, a more interesting storyline, a bigger area. Just, at the time, of course, I thought it was one of the better, just overall games that you could play. And when they announced that they were doing a remake, obviously that had me very, very excited.
Well, I think you and I both were out of our mind excited for that, as we saw in our E3 reaction. I mean, it was an incredible moment. I would say not just for us, but for the Balding Plebs of the channel as well.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So let's talk about our thoughts on the One Shot Demo. Now, you saw me play through it twice.
I did.
I think you're actually going to have a chance to play through it coming up here, and we've got one more play from Xbox One as well. I think I have maybe one or two complaints, but otherwise, overall, I was digging it, man.
Yeah, I felt really good about what I saw here.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean good graphically, I mean good overall. And I'm talking environment, I'm talking details, I'm talking enemies, I'm talking characters, I'm talking story, I'm talking interactivity. There was not a ton here that disappointed me, and I was glad for that.
Yeah, me too.
I said when we were doing some of our other reactions that I wanted to make sure that we had a demo, right? I said I really hope they'll release one, and they did. And I feel that a demo gives you just a chance to feel the game, right? And I like the feel of this game, and I like it a lot.
You talk about getting a demo. I think Days Gone could use a demo.
It really could use a demo.
So let's talk some about this.
Going back to that, they want to release this 30-minute thing. That's fine. I don't mind that. I just want to feel the game in my hands. I want to feel the way the characters move and the way the characters respond.
Hell yeah.
I want to feel the game in action so that I know my money's being well spent. Right? Yeah. I want to confirm my suspicions, right? And, my suspicions are that this game is going to be great, right? Yeah. And I just want to confirm that. And I think this demo did that for me. Yeah,
absolutely. You talk a lot about characters, we've seen a lot of characters, we recognize some characters returning, Irons, Ada Wong, Annette, William.
The little girl, what's her name?
Sherry.
Sherry, yep.
So, I'm excited. I am, and I'm really looking forward to it. Not just because it has that Resident Evil 2 feel still.
And we only got to see such a contained area.
And it's true. And what we saw was, I do have to give some credit to Jokester for kind of interacting with us a little bit on our one demo playthrough we did. Kind of thought, well, I was looking for more of a reaction from you guys. Well, we'd seen all this in other previous reaction videos to other gameplay we'd seen already. That was incredible, that.
Yeah.
But, we'd seen all of this already. So, I think that was the only low point for me of the demo, is there was nothing in the demo that I hadn't seen already.
Yeah, unless we missed it.
Yeah, so for me, I basically knew what to expect. I knew this was going to be my guidebook. I knew the zombie was coming through the door. I knew they were going to be flooding the hallway. So it wasn't a big, oh my god, what do I do? Freak out surprise for me.
Yeah, and I wasn't really looking for that either. I knew they weren't going to give away anything here.
No.
But for me, it was just more about feeling the controls, right?
Yeah.
Responsiveness, actually checking out the way this aiming worked and the way that these zombies moved. And as you can see here, they're kind of aggressive and they're kind of evil. And, you put 3 bullets in his knee, I'm thinking that's going to take him down.
That's what I was expecting,
and
it didn't happen.
Still gets the lunge on you, right? Still gets after you.
Yeah.
That was that was pretty good. I think the zombie movement here is really excellent. I think it's a little annoying because they move with a certain sway to them, and for people like me who suck at aiming in games, it might be a little challenging for me. But I do like it. It's certainly a lot better than, remember the old games where the zombies just kind of went like this, and you just stood there and blew their head off?
Yeah, of course.
So, I think that's a great change, right? And a great update.
Yeah. So you mentioned aiming. Let's talk about that for a second. One thing that I loved that I saw was the inclusion of, I don't know if you remember it, but in Outbreak, I think it was File 1 or File 2, it may have been both, you play as a certain male character, and when he aims his 45, after a few seconds of aiming, he resets. And that's like a super shot, a stronger shot.
Yeah.
So I like how when you're aiming for a while with Leon, that reticle tightens, and that shot does significantly more damage.
Yeah, that is a really nice point.
Kind of an unspoken.
It was, and it's something I didn't notice initially, but you definitely, when you start shooting in rapid succession in this game, it's almost like your bullets have a phantom effect where they're going to either maybe be not as on target as you want them to be, their damage is reduced, their effectiveness is reduced.
I like that, and I like how you can tell when you hit them with that stronger shot because their leg or their body definitely reacts to the shot. And I did really like that. Another thing that I really enjoyed, I have to kind of give a mention to the shotgun here. One thing I really enjoyed about the shotgun is it sounds more like a shotgun. Now, obviously, no, I mean, sure, your ears aren't ringing, you're not, but it's got some crack to it. It's got some bang to it. And I really like that.
I think you and I have always enjoyed the shotgun and the Magnum in the Resident Evil games because the effect of the shot, whether it's blowing the zombies' heads off, and you get that pop, right? And it's really very rewarding as a gamer. There is something about wanting to pop some heads,
of course,
in video games that is rewarding. And this game has always done it well. I think Resident Evil as a series, at least initially in the early games, that was something I just remember, right? You shoot them with the shotgun and their head go,
it would go,
yeah, and
like in Resident Evil 3, you sit there with the Magnum, it's just, I thought that was so damn cool.
And it looks like those effects are returning here as well.
Yes, except in a much more graphic, visceral way, and not so
cartoony,
cartoony with the explosion, but more violent and more smuck to it. And I like it. God damn, I liked it a lot.
I do too.
And I have to point this out while we're looking at it, while we just saw the combat knife there. Hashtag my favorite new weapon.
Let's talk about this combat knife.
Sure, holy shit. So first of all, they're incorporating some of the defense items that came in with the Resident Evil 1 remake way back on GameCube. You have the knife, you have the flashbang. I don't know if we have hand grenades incorporated in this or not, but I know flashbangs and the combat knife here are, for sure.
So the combat knife is like a dual tool, right?
So
you can use it to cut open some fuse boxes.
Slicing and slashing.
Yep, slicing and slashing.
And if they grab you, you can stab them in the chest with it and repel them initially, which I like. I always liked that from the very get-go.
I think that's a great inclusion.
I agree.
And I also like... I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the actual degradation of the weapon at first, right? But I do like it. I think it's an important stat on the weapon. That it doesn't allow you to just use it as a failsafe constantly.
Well, here's the thing. If that weapon didn't degrade, the knife would be the most overpowered thing in this game.
Exactly.
Because you just get around behind the zombies, cut their legs a few times, drop them, and cut their limbs off.
Yep.
And they basically can't do anything to you. So it became a very immediately noticeable thing, like, holy shit, this thing is really powerful, but it is degrading. But, even after killing 3 or so zombies with it, I'd only used half or 3/4 of a knife.
Yeah.
And it's not like I didn't find another one. So I like it. And there was one point during my demo play, just kind of sharing a little bit of my experience here, one point during my demo play where I had almost no durability, could barely see anything for durability left, and a zombie grabbed me and I stabbed him with it. That broke the knife, of course. I couldn't get it back afterwards. But
it still saved your ass.
It still saved my ass with no durability left.
Sure.
So, this is a really useful weapon. This is a really useful tool, and I love what I'm seeing with it. Very, very happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the knife adds a lot of strategy, and it adds both a defensive strategy and an offensive strategy.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Now, you'll see, I'm pretty sure I'm going to shoot the zombie from back here, but I think I do anyway. Maybe not. Maybe I... Yeah. So you see I let it zoom in like that, and I get that extra damage. And I love the... Look at that.
I love the
3
effects.
shots with the pistol in the head with that scope, with that reticle titan, and... They're done.
Super aim or whatever you want to call it.
So look at this here now with the knife. I don't know if I'm actually going to go at him as much. I think I just knifed him to see if he was alive, which, of course, I should have kept knifing there. But yeah, I mean, I love this. See, I didn't let that one charge up like I should have.
I like the way you can really see the effects of the bullets on the zombies' faces.
But look at that. I mean, that's 3 Titan reticles in a row, and he's still not down.
It is amazing to me how much damage they can take, too.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it just feels like you can shoot these guys forever. And I do love the way that their bodies cut up with the knife. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was about time we get a little bit more graphic on that. I like it. I like it a lot. So again, the knife is fantastic. The pistol, I like what I see with it. I do. I really do. I like that little extra mechanic they added in there. I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. Jdog, your thoughts?
Well,
how about this gunpowder? How about the inclusion of gunpowder in this game?
And maybe this is just the demo. I thought ammo was plenty, right? I didn't think we had an issue finding ammo.
That was my second criticism of the demo. My one of only 2 criticisms. The first being it was nothing I haven't seen other than the trailer afterwards. Mm-hmm. And the second, of course, being I felt ammo was actually too plentiful.
Well...
Not saying, obviously this is the earlier demo, I'm assuming.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they're going to have bigger monsters or more more zombies, more lickers, more things like that. They had this gated off, so who knows if we would have gone in different areas.
Yeah, fair enough.
So they had a very linear thing going on here. So I don't remember... I don't really ever feel Resident Evil games were unbalanced. Personally,
that is one thing they usually do really well.
I would say the main Resident Evil games, the ones that we've liked.
Fair enough.
I don't feel they were unbalanced.
1, 2, 3, 4, 7.
I do, and I guess I'm not going to be disappointed to be having ammo because I do like to actually kill the enemies. I don't like to run around them. But depending on how many of them either respawn or come back or find their way in from outside, I mean, I don't want to sit here and say that I feel that ammo is going to be like, this is going to be some sort of run and gun thing. Because I'm not getting that vibe here. I think maybe in the contained world of the demo, you may be able to say that there's a lot of ammo.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at it in the broader scope of the game, I don't get a run and gun, spray and pray vibe here.
I don't
Especially if you are going to be not careful with your aim, and you're going to have, those wide reticle shots. It takes a lot of ammo to kill a zombie.
Yes, it does.
So you need a lot if you're going to be shooting like that. Now, if you want to go through and you're going to be able to pinpoint every zombie at 2 or 3 shots, maybe you'll feel that ammo is plentiful. But I think it's going to definitely depend on skill and on your aim.
Yeah, I have to be honest with you. That was a disappointment for me. But again, I mean, how critical of it can I really be? I mean, it was fun.
You were doing runs with just the knife, so once you kind of figured out where you were going here, and I think Resident Evil is a game that can be easily speedrun, just about all of them, if you know what you're doing. So once you know what's up, right, the game loses its fear factor, right? The scary part of this game, or Resident Evil games in general, is that first playthrough. That can never be duplicated, right?
Nope.
You're the unknown. You don't know when that zombie's going to break through the window. You don't know when that zombie's going to, come alive that's on the ground. You're not sure the first time you walk by him. Well, the 50th time you've played the damn thing, you know he's dead, right? So you don't worry about him. And it makes the game easier. So, we have, to be fair, seen all this before, right? And we know what we're doing because of how much we've watched these trailers and these different playthroughs.
Yep.
So I definitely think my feeling is that this game will be balanced, That's my feeling.
How about this new mechanic we're seeing here, boarding up the windows?
Well, I'm not sure about it, to be honest with you, because I don't know if we have had enough gameplay time to see how it works. Now, you boarded up that window. What does that do? Does that keep that zombie outside?
That keeps him from coming in at that point.
Okay.
It could also keep enemies from coming in later in the game when you come back to this
Okay,
area.
so once you board it up, it's boarded up. It doesn't get broken, or does it get broken? And I'm not sure about that, because we haven't seen enough gameplay.
Yeah, I can't say for certain, but in the past,
we know
when
if
you've
we
done,
don't board that up, he can break in.
well, as soon as you go up the stairs, he comes in.
So if you board it up, does that keep it boarded up consistently, and does that allow for like less enemies? Or, I mean, you know, that's some of the stuff that's in my head, just some thoughts going through my head that I'm not certain about, the actual mechanic. Or does that get worn down over time, kind of like, you know, survival style games where you have to quote unquote board up your base and shit like that?
I think it'll be interesting to find out if that does in fact happen.
Yeah, and it's something that's definitely on my mind.
You know, you make a really good point there, Jdog. One other thing I wanted to point out was when I grabbed that gunpowder out of the locker back there, I don't know if you saw that or not, I immediately combined it in my inventory. I'm going to try and go back, just because I think that's actually worth showing. Let's watch this one more time. This is something I like. This is something that, in like Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, I haven't really been able to do. So watch this. I'm going to find... First of all, I'm going to find some pistol ammo. Now I'm going to find a gunpowder, and I'm going to combine it on the fly. See that? And immediately make the pistol ammo.
And then be able to combine
those two. Yep. So
and
I
so
really like that.
So I definitely think those are quality of life changes that are paramount in 2018 gaming.
Of course.
I don't like games that artificially inflate their difficulty or artificially inflate their time to complete, so to speak.
I am with you 100%.
So if they kept the same inventory style, right, from way, way back,
look how many shots at zombies.
Literally everything you did took a space, and you had to like be able to store it before you could combine it, and blah, 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 blah.
Watch this.
That was funny.
That was cool.
Number one, it doesn't make a logical sense, right? That you couldn't combine it on the fly, right? And number two, it makes the trips to the storerooms, the trips to the safe rooms more frequent, thereby elongating the time you play.
I think it was a way to elongate the gameplay back in the day.
And I think you're right. I just think, again, in 2018, we don't need that. So that is a change I really like seeing. I am a huge fan of combining and inventory management on the fly.
Yeah,
and they still have inventory, controls, inventory management, inventory limits, which is perfectly fine in a game of this style. So, to me, I don't feel that the inventory is going to be as restrictive as it was in the past, and to me, that is a very, very good thing. I'd say that's one of the my least favorite things about Resident Evil games, or at least older Resident Evil games, is that sense of real restriction in inventory. So if they get rid of that, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, and I got no qualms, no disagreements. Let's just talk about the enemies for a second. So the enemies that we see in the trailer here, or in the one-shot demo here, are going to be, obviously we're fighting the zombies consistently. Right here. How about the liquor?
Well, I'm disappointed we didn't get a chance to fight them. We got a chance to see them crawl across a window. We have seen gameplay where they fight them. The liquors look very, very fast, very, very evil, very difficult to fight. I would say,
yeah,
at least in my opinion.
Well, now let's talk about this. The liquors are blind.
Yeah, so I'm wondering how well that's going to work personally. If they're blind, how easily are you going to be able to get around them? We saw some of that in the gameplay where it was like, it felt like he could have been or couldn't have been, and I just wasn't 100% certain on that.
Well, I do have to tell you, I did see some gameplay recently, and really, like, there's a liquor in the hallway, and the guy is basically walking, because Mr. X is chasing him, but the guy's basically walking slowly past the liquor down the hallway, and then a zombie starts snarling, and the liquor rushes him. So, you talk about like sound bass and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. And those are some mechanics that we didn't necessarily get in the original. Maybe obviously a little bit too advanced. Maybe.
I didn't even know the Lickers were blind.
I have to be honest with you, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Until it's become more of like a thing.
So I'm not against it by any stretch.
No, I'm not either.
I am not against, sound-based or stealth-based gameplay. I think it can be really, really good and really useful, especially in a game of this style. I just obviously don't like it if it's... I don't like it when I think I'm being quiet, but the game doesn't think I'm being quiet, so to speak, and then I feel like I'm being stealthy, and then 4 Lickers jump me or something.
Yeah.
That I don't like. So, depending on how they handle it, it could be very awesome. So I'm going to keep an open mind on it. You need to get good at your...
channeling my inner IGN here during this part.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't even know. I'm just playing this like... it was my first time getting my hands on the shotgun, and I just wasn't quite sure.
That was awesome.
That was a lucky shot. Let's be real. There you see me retrieving that knife only about a third or a half of the way down, which I thought was really nice. It was never even close to dying, and, I liked it. Like, I was... a couple nitpicks. This is like quality of life at its most extreme. When I go to open that door, one thing that I didn't like was that it didn't automatically take me to the key. I had to select it. So I found myself selecting my pistol or my knife on accident a lot because I want to get through the door as quick as possible.
But does it automatically pause the game, though, when you go to the door, like the enemies, so that you can...
It did, yes.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter then.
Yeah.
But it would be nice. They could tidy that up. But I'd say that's super minor.
Yeah. I think there's some other stuff
I think one of the things that I think is worth mentioning is brightness in this game.
I cranked it.
Yeah.
I cranked it on this on purpose.
And I don't recommend that.
No, it totally ruins the experience. Do not crank your brightness like I did.
And number one, it makes the background textures look gray.
Yeah.
So, whatever you guys do,
don't do what I did.
This was a PC playthrough here.
Yes, it was.
And I think what we realized really quickly is that brightness and the brightness setting is going to play a role in immersion, in ensuring that we end up with crisp blacks and
creepy.
The creep factor, yes. And ending up with crisp, like dark
yes.
and light areas. So you're gonna wanna, I think, maybe more in this game than any other game, try different brightnesses to see what you really like.
All right, so Jdog, as we kind of get back into things here, I switched it over to our play from the live stream where we're playing on PS4 the first time we go through. And you're definitely going to notice a difference in brightness, darkness, colors, etc., etc. So, yeah. But let's, as we go into the Resident Evil 2 remake here, what are your hopes? First, give me your serious hopes, and then make a crack about Ada Wong.
Oh, okay.
Did I ruin it?
Well, Ada Wong was my hope and dreams.
Okay.
No. My hope is, number one, that I get to relive a game that I really, really enjoyed from my childhood, teenage years, with the modern conveniences, graphical upgrades. Obviously, when we were playing that game in 98, or 97, or whatever the hell it was, you had a certain... I think its impression on us was very significant.
Hell yeah.
Based on it being probably one of the better games, like I said earlier, that you could get your hands on at the time. And I'm hoping this, in a way, can do the same thing, if that sounds right. Obviously, our standards for graphics, our standards for storytelling have increased.
Yes.
And there's a certain... How do I say this correctly? There's a certain thing about Resident Evil that keeps us coming back to it, but there are also certain quirks about that style of game that have gotten a little bit outdated, right? You talk inventory management. I mean, you look at the original games, the tank-style controls that they had, the shit camera angles.
Hell yeah.
So what I'm looking for here is them to take Resident Evil, and what I'm hoping they did is they sat down and said, how do we bring this series, how do we bring this to the 21st century? That's what I'm really hoping for. You saw a significant increase in that with Resident Evil 4 at the time, right? Where I felt like that game really propelled the series forward, right? I think a lot of people would probably agree with that statement and say Resident Evil 4 is one of the better Resident Evils you can play. I think we saw a significant return to the horror element in Resident Evil and Resident Evil 7. I really enjoyed that game, but it also used a first-person mode and was a little more, I'd say, story-driven than maybe enemy-driven, if that makes sense. I mean, you kind of fought the same type of enemies most of the game.
Yes, you did.
And that was more storyline or family storyline-based, which was kind of interesting. A different take on it, but still effective.
Yes.
I want to see them get back to that Resident Evil route in the 21st century. That's what I'm hoping for here, just on a more general level. Now, yes, do I want Ada Wong to look amazing? Yeah, and I think she's gonna. Do I want that alligator in the sewers to be a fucking fight? Yeah. Do I want Mr. X to have a war, right, with you? Yeah, you know I do. So, those things, I think, more specifically, it looks like we're going to get from what we've seen, but I'm just hoping for a game that I feel really good about playing. That's my key. So, I want a Resident Evil experience that reminds me of the Resident Evil experience we grew up with.
Hell yeah.
If I get that, this is the best $60 of the year, right? Because I don't remember a game, maybe the original Silent Hill game, maybe, that was close to delivering the experience that I thought Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2 did when we were younger. And so I would love for this game to bring me back to that.
You know, I can't. I was the whole time you were talking, I was thinking to myself, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? I'm just going to literally say the exact same thing you just said. I do want to point out one or two last things. I'm going to point out one more thing that I didn't like. I know it's hard to believe I'm criticizing this. I couldn't shoot through the windows.
Yeah.
That to me, this is 2019, 2018, but that to me...
Do I keep saying 2018?
Well, I'm saying 2018 just because that's when this was announced.
Yeah.
But this is 2019. Logically, realistically, that zombie on the other side of the window, I should be able to shoot him. I shouldn't have to wait till I walk a certain distance to trigger him.
Yeah, I thought there was a weird, and I'm hoping it's maybe just the demo, but it did feel like there was a weird, like, you can interact with certain parts of the environment really well, but you can't interact with things that you feel you should be able to interact with.
Yes.
Like you say, shooting through the window. If the zombie can break through the window, why can't I shoot him through it, right? Or shoot the glass out, or, you know, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Is it a deal breaker? It's not a deal breaker.
No.
But it was a small immersion breaker based on, again, guys, realizing where gaming is in 2019 and some of the things that are expected now in games, right? Like, environmental interactivity is kind of expected, right? Again, is it a deal breaker? It's not a deal breaker by any means. But it was odd, I think. At least the first time I saw it. And I'll probably get over it by the time we start playing, but... Yeah. I felt it would have been a cool addition. Like, if you see a zombie outside and you can shoot him, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. Why not?
Yeah. Like, I feel like I should be able to shoot through glass. You know, they added shooting through doors to some of the other Resident Evil games. You could blow a chunk of door away and shoot them through the door. I don't need that. But I should be able to... I should be able to shoot them through glass. Like, it would make sense. Where's my bullet going? You know, so that was kind of a letdown for me. It's kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
But
you couldn't interact with fire extinguishers.
Couldn't shoot fire extinguishers, and you know that's okay. That's it's minor, but
it would definitely be cool if you could use environmental objects to, you know, create a diversion, get the zombies off of you, keep them away from you, things like that.
Yeah.
Again, we see it in other games. It's not something that can't happen. Yeah. So, it was a little odd not to see it included, I guess, for me personally.
Yeah.
And I know they need to stick to the roots here, too. This
Oh,
is a
of
remake,
course, of course.
And they need to make this a Resident Evil experience, and I get that. But it would have been something I think I would have wanted. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel, but I think I'm going to have to play the whole game before I can give a full review and really give my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But it did strike me as odd that it wasn't there.
Yeah. And I don't want it to come off as though I'm trashing the game because I point those things out. It's just something that I noticed while I was playing that made me say, why not? You know, why not?
But on an overall basis, I really liked what I played.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to make sure that's clear.
Oh, 100%. I you know, sitting here playing this, and then I play some of these other demos coming out, and I play some of these other, you know, game showcases coming out. I'm just like, this is far above anything else I've played.
I think Capcom has been knocking it out of the park lately, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You look at Monster Hunter World, you look what they've done with that game. I think we got high hopes for this. Even the Devil May Cry 5 demo that we played, we liked. So I've been really, really happy with the content they've been producing lately. So
Yeah. So right before we close this episode of Pleb Talk here at Jdog, I want to ask one more fan question. There are 2 games that I would like to see Capcom remake. They're both survival horror games. What would you like to see them remake?
Resident Evil 3.
That is one of mine, yes. I'm with you on that.
Dino Crisis 1.
That is my other one.
And I guess for the third, I guess I don't have a third right this second. I'd have to maybe... did they do Ghouls and Ghosts?
I don't even know.
Remember that Super Ghouls and Ghosts or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah.
If they did that game, brought that into the 21st century, made it, like, playable? For
Yeah,
people of
no
my
shit,
skill, that
right?
is so fucking hard.
You got to remember the skill level when you're talking.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, we are plebs, guys. You know this.
Pro league players versus, you know,
Yeah,
just plebs, you know?
I feel like that would be a cool game to remake. I don't know why. Even if they kept it arcadey or 2D, I just feel like that could be a really cool game.
Let me ask you this. What if they took Ghouls and Ghosts and made it Resident Evil style? Like this. And made it really fucking scary. Like they just threw you in a realistic graveyard and were like, fuck you. Good luck.
I'm sure there's different things they could do. It's just a title that was on the top of my mind because I got the SNES retro console, and it's one I was playing, and I can't get past the first like 4 enemies. So I'm like, God, they need to remake this for 2019 for people of my skill level with an easy ass mode so I can play. I think I am playing on the easy mode. I still suck. Oh God.
How about that? But how about that Resident Evil 3 and Dino Crisis 1, like 2 of our most wanted remakes?
I think Nemesis is a very wanted remake.
Yes.
In general, and I know you and I are both huge fans of Dino Crisis. So
Oh my God.
that game kind of really was one we liked. They got a couple, I'd say, decent to mediocre sequels out of it, and then like you haven't heard shit about it for 20 years. So
Well, yeah, because the last Dino Crisis was # in space.
yeah, and I don't know why they have to bring him in space to have a dinosaur anymore. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Dino Crisis 1 was fucking awesome, and they should seriously consider remaking it. Because I think they could do awesome shit with cool dinosaurs.
Well, dinosaurs are scary enough.
We love dinosaurs. We're huge fans of them. A game that remakes them and makes that game kind of with this sort of vibe would be awesome.
Can you imagine this game, but with velociraptors?
No, that would be scary and terrifying and awesome.
I would cry. Jdog, any final thoughts on the Resident Evil 2 Remake One Shot Demo and Resident Evil 2 Remake going forward as we anticipate its launch coming up Friday, January 25th?
Friday can't get here fast enough. I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Real quick at the end of the video here, let's talk about our stream schedule for that weekend. Let's talk about how things are going to go down. Friday night, probably thinking maybe short, maybe 45-minute or hour stream.
Well, depending on how the install goes, depending on actually making sure we get the game.
Yeah, that we actually get the game.
Since we do have this ordered from Amazon, we need to make sure we get it.
Yep.
But assuming all that stuff happens,
Yes.
and the install goes smooth and there's no hiccups there, we do want to at least get on for an hour stream on Friday, I think.
Yep.
Because we do really want to play this.
And I'll be looking to have a pretty lengthy live stream Saturday night. once we get home from work, maybe starting around 6 or 7 Central or so.
Yep.
Sunday, of course, is going to be the 27th. That's Royal Rumble. So.
Yep. So we might not have a lot on Sunday, but I think definitely we'll try to have a prolonged stream on Saturday for you guys.
Absolutely. Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday. So definitely going to be having some Resident Evil 2 Remake content coming up. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this, Jdog. Overall, I was really impressed with the remake, liked what I saw, and I'm looking forward to it. Checking it out. I'm ready. I mean, hey, Mr. X, bring it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
You guys can let us know what you think about the Resident Evil 2 Remake and the Resident Evil 2 Remake One Shot Demo. Give us your thoughts on that. Like the video if you enjoyed our discussion, honest breakdown, and real chat here about this. And we will see each and every one of you right here on the Balding Plebs for another episode of Pleb Talk.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Let us know your thoughts on the Resident Evil 2 Remake, and we will see you live Friday night.
GG, ya plebs. Actually, you know what, Jdog? I think Arthur Morgan has something to say about the Resident Evil 2 Remake One Shot Demo.
Arthur, take it away.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to give him a couple seconds here. Give him a couple seconds to give his thoughts.
That's good enough.
GG, you plebs.